Thank you.
You know, so this part of the program, of course, has been what's been going on with medical devices during COVID, and certainly one was innovation and one was emergency use and education that flows from that. But there's been this incredible thing going over in India where devices have been made and way more. So tell us about it, Dr. Sharma.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you for the time. I will request Callie to allow me to share my screen, if that's a possibility. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you can see my screen, right?
Yep.
Lovely. So we are, and I'll go quickly because I know we have less time. You know us, we are AMTZ. Our birth was heralded by the presence of all of you, most of you, in 2018, when we hosted the Global Medical Devices Forum, thanks to Adriana's leadership. In the country, there didn't exist a single ecosystem that can respond to anything like COVID. Thankfully, we existed since 2018. And therefore, while our birth was not to tackle COVID, a large amount of COVID-related products have been supplied, made, engineered, R&D'd by us. These are some of the pictures from my zone. The reason why we are successful, and this is perhaps one of the best practices I would like to share with my colleagues, that we don't really need to, in this time of global knowledge exchange, chase single innovation. We can actually work on creating platforms that can autopilot support innovations, that can allow innovators to bring out their own innovations using and exploit an ecosystem that exists. What you see here is one of largest molding facilities globally that allows innovators to actually 3D print their products, biomaterial and EMC testing centers, sterilization centers, and so on. Now, when you create an ecosystem of this kind, you are actually encouraging, nurturing innovation to happen on its own rather than working on product by product. Now, what this ecosystem has led to is a huge national capacity. In a day, we produce 100 ventilators, 600 oxygen concentrators, 100,000 N95 masks, 5,000 PPE kits, 1 million RT-PCR test kits for COVID every day, almost 90% of a national requirement, and innovative products like mobile PSA plants, pictures of which I will show. Now, where can we go forward? I have only 6 slides, so I'm just sharing the way forward here. Now, most of us in the innovation space in clinical engineering get bogged down not because we cannot R&D a product, but there are critical components that are beyond our scope. Sensors for ventilators, zeolite sieve. Tom, you and I spoke about this when the second wave hit India. Producing zeolite for innovators that are in oxygen concentrator space, turbines for ventilators, compressors, microcontrollers. These are things which don't exist in a rigid clinical engineering space. And therefore, one of the USPs of success would be to engage with the electronic and subcomponent ecosystems in your respective regions and countries and see how clinical engineering can rub on them. Mind you, automobiles, textile machinery, most of the other segments that use these components are in downgrade, whereas clinical engineering on a CAGR, the annual to annual growth rate is actually bypassing every single segment because we are life protectors. Now, what we have also done is a bunch of process innovation. We produce oxygen concentrator, yes, but that costs about $800 US. $800 US for someone might be too expensive for 5 days or 10 days of use. So what we have done is the digital services team in our zone has created an app called O2 Home. Anyone in India, in 80 cities across India, we have supplied over 200 oxygen concentrators in our warehouses. Anyone can actually download this app for free, rent out an oxygen concentrator for just $5. How does it come? An Uber cab driver, because this program is in partnership with Uber, an Uber driver actually picks it up from our warehouse, takes it to the patient's home, brings it back after 5 or 10 days. And you, of course, take the insurance of the entire inventory to ensure that there are no losses. But this is how technology can not just be produced, but can be democratized, that the cost can actually, for the same product and service, can come from, say, $800 to $5. The principle is, whenever a clinical engineering product is too expensive and occasionally used, that's the right time to convert a product into a service. Same thing we have done. We have built an entire RT-PCR lab on a truck. You see the truck standing there. We have also started building container hospitals. We take containers that can be uploaded on a truck. And these container hospitals have 8 beds, oxygen pipeline, ventilators, compressors, everything inbuilt. But what you can really do is you can actually augment the capacities of patient care at your choice. You can deploy without getting tagged to investment in one single place at multiple places depending upon the demand. So AMTZ has actually been, as you see on the map of India, all the arrows emerge from a little dot in the state of Andhra Pradesh called AMTZ, which is a national supplier to most of the COVID products across the country. This is my last slide. As I'm speaking, I requested you to allow me to share my slide because this picture is new. It's happening behind me in a factory. Now, PSA plant, such a novel thing, but we know that the cost of PSA plant oxygen supply is almost 2.5, 3 times than that of cryogenic oxygen. And therefore, once the epidemic subsides and the demand goes down, running a PSA plant becomes unviable. It's too expensive competitively. So what we have done, we have actually built an entire PSA plant on a truck, which means you can not only take care of multiple locations, multiple hospitals, but you can also actually neutralize the viability problem, which these innovations would eventually hit. So Tom, thank you very much. I wanted to rush through my slides to save everyone's time. Happy to take questions at the end. And thank you for being there as a global CE family. But this is the time when clinical engineering is no more clinical. It has gone from clinics to homes, homes to tents, tents to warehouses, and everywhere where patients of COVID have been treated. Thank you very much.
Very, very cool, Jitendar. Thanks so much.